Okay, let's go.
From a young age, we are handed specific instructions. Be practical, play it safe, and wait until you are ready before attempting anything ambitious. That demand for complete readiness builds invisible, self-imposed walls. We hold ourselves back from applying, starting the business, or speaking up because a quiet voice insists we haven't reached the necessary threshold yet. Author David Schwartz diagnosed this condition as excusitis. It appears as highly logical justifications. We say our energy is low, we're too young to start, too old to pivot, or simply weren't born lucky. These excuses provide an escape route before we even have to try. Using the label of being realistic serves as an effective camouflage for the discomfort of fear. Standing at the edge, waiting until we feel equipped, fails to protect us from the risk of failure. It ensures we never leave the starting line. But what if the accepted sequence, the idea that preparation leads to success, actually operates in reverse? When you examine the mechanics of high achievement, the process functions in direct opposition to human intuition. Breaking free from those invisible walls requires an inversion of how we understand the relationship between belief, confidence, and action. We do not act according to what is objectively possible in the physical world. We act according to what we perceive to be possible. A rigid, small mindset functions like a closed cognitive loop. When you operate from limitation, your brain actively hunts for evidence to justify those limits, finding roadblocks and dead ends. A shift occurs when the mind moves toward an open framework. By visualizing a successful outcome, you force the brain to scan for solutions. As those pathways expand, the mind accepts the final image as reality, mapping the steps backward to your current position. Belief is the architectural blueprint that makes a result possible. It is the foundation rather than the consequence. Moving from internal thoughts to the physical world, we hit a second wall, the paralysis of waiting for confidence to arrive before we begin the work. Schwartz outlines a specific operational rule for this. Action is the only known cure for fear. The longer you wait, the stronger the fear grows. Think about driving a car, or walking up to a microphone, or filing paperwork for a business. Every initial attempt is accompanied by uncertainty. Our brains are biologically wired to protect us by imagining worst-case scenarios. To overwrite this default, the brain requires tangible proof you can survive. Taking a single step into the discomfort generates micro-deposits of evidence. It proves to your nervous system that you are capable of handling the challenge. Action triggers a spike in experience, expanding the capacity for confidence. Self-belief becomes the results of doing. As these cycles repeat, consistent exposure to discomfort acts like training a muscle. The effort required gets smaller, and handling the challenge becomes natural. Confidence is a measurable byproduct, built exclusively by stepping into the unknown before you feel ready. This principle scales up from individual psychology to the people around us. Operating with a limited mindset isolates you, while expansive thinking connects you. People who think small operate from a baseline of insecurity. This defaults into a zero-sum game of criticism, gossip, and aggressive competition, where someone else has to lose for them to win. In contrast, the expansive leadership model prioritizes respect and collaboration. It focuses on identifying and drawing out the latent potential in other people. There is a magnetic effect to this kind of positive energy. When you radiate belief and encourage your peers, you naturally draw high-value opportunities, trust, and capable allies toward you. Success is a collaborative journey. Helping others expand their own potential directly multiplies your own capacity for achievement. Thinking big requires consistent daily maintenance. It functions as a lifestyle built on specific, recurring choices. It starts with the vocabulary you use. You have to strip limiting, passive words from your speech and replace "I hope" or "maybe" with definitive active statements like "I will" and "definitely." Then there is the environmental rule. You must curate your social circle. Surrounding yourself with optimistic doers protects your focus and fuels your own expanding belief system. Growth emerges from the accumulation of steady, deliberate, and sometimes uncomfortable daily habits. Even a simple 5-minute evening reflection, Asking yourself what you did today to move closer to your goal acts as a critical tool. It tracks your forward momentum and trains your brain to recognize its own micro-progress. Stop evaluating your ambitions based on what society deems reasonable. The physical world responds differently to people who operate from vision rather than fear. The perfect mood and absolute certainty will never arrive. The only question left to ask is what is possible, and the only thing left to do is take that one bold, unready step forward today.